What's up? This is Gordon Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man, Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Tretch in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Y'all see that Barry White in my voice? I made the octave go way downstairs. Y'all see that? Dope Living TV Live. Yes, Don Cornelius here. Hey, anyway, the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Having said that, man, welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys. We have had a week of healing, a week of restoration, a week of self-awareness with Life Coach Jeff and the Life Coach Jeff Sessions. That's what we're going to call them, the Life Coach Jeff Sessions. Yeah. The record coming out soon, most definitely, on K-Tel Records. Remember that, Gina? K-Tel Records?
Really?
Life Coach Jeff Sessions.
I don't know what's wrong with you today.
And then you get the record and you be like, no, my brother, you got to get your own.
Hi, Linda.
What's going on with you, sis?
Hey, I'm ready.
You chilling?
I'm ready.
Ain't good? Okay, good. Momo.
Hey, what's up, family?
Chilling.
Oh.
Hey, at K-Tel Records. Play it once and that's it, baby. It's a wrap. You better have recorded that mug.
Hey, y'all remember back in the day, man, back in the GI, where they, at midnight. Hold on, let me get Marcella on here real quick.
Yeah.
Because she was drinking something. I didn't want to put her on while she had a big-ass glass to her throat.
Hello, you guys are showing your age. I've never heard of K-Tel Records.
Whatever, dude, whatever. You the one in
She just stay up past midnight.
You the one in
She just stay up past 10 o'clock.
She said we telling our age, but she never heard of K-Tel.
If you had a TV in your bedroom, you heard K-Tel Records.
I had a TV in the room.
Said, no, my brother, you got to get you on. She was on that commercial. She was in the background walking by. All right, she's a white girl walking by. Anyway,
no, my brother. You got to get you on.
No, he had a curl too, a deep curl.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. We are here to talk to, let Coach Jeff, Life Coach Jeff, do his thing. He's a life coach. He has his own podcast. He has two podcasts actually that he's killing it with. Okay, but he has lent his services for an hour today to people, just everyday people who are trying to get some closure, some relevance to some things that have happened in their lives, and Life Coach is doing his thing. So we ain't gonna hold him,
What's going on? What's good?
Hey,
We are back again for the final day.
Yeah.
Of Life Coach.
for now.
You know what? I know my week has been so awesome. After these life coaches, awesome. Just
That's what's
awesome. Nothing can get under my skin.
That's why tonight we need to run his credentials down at the bottom and make sure we get it in.
We do.
I hate that I missed yesterday, okay, because I heard yesterday was a fantastic show.
Ooh, that was hot.
Shout out to the party that I went to, okay.
Yeah, you party man yesterday.
It did. It was not. It was short, man. The guy was on. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that right now. We talk about it in the show. Let's bring on our guest client. She's got her own podcast coming up, but she got some things she want to talk to us and share her journey with Life Coach Jeff and get some things off the chest. Okay, everybody, welcome Holly Seaside.
Holly.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
Good
Holly.
evening. Good night.
Mimosa.
Bonjour, everybody.
Bonjour.
Of course, the la gonna say bonjour. Okay? She Creole, French, and African American, all of that.
She let everything.
Smorgasbord, we're gumbo.
American. Called American.
Thank you.
Yeah, I heard that too, Gene. I'm like, okay, we gumbo. But anyway, Life Coach Jeff, tell us a little bit about what you're gonna be doing today.
Same thing I've been doing all this week, man. Just helping people unpack, unload, get weight lifted off their shoulders, and try to provide a sense of acknowledgement and accountability for the things that they do. Not in a bad way, but kind of in a way of like we talked about earlier this week, self-discovery. So that's what I really want to do today. I want to make sure I draw some stuff out for Holly, so she could see a better version of herself and want to do more for herself.
Absolutely. And Holly, what do you expect today?
I'm expecting to find a way to move on from a situation that I can't control. So.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna hold you back, Life Coach. Let's get started.
Okay, so once again, for the new people that are tuning in to the show tonight, when I look down, I'm writing. Okay, we old school over here. The mind simply can't just retain all the knowledge and information that is given, and this is live television, so we must write something down. So this is the deal. So Holly, what I want to do is, like you said just right now, 2 seconds ago, you said you want to find a way to move away from a current situation that you have no control over. I want to know what that situation is, if you don't mind diving into it. It's up to you.
So the situation is learning to move on without somebody apologizing. So just forgiving without an apology.
Okay, learning to move on without an apology. Do you feel like an apology is needed on your end?
Sometimes I do, but the older I get, I'm starting to realize that maybe it's not needed. It's not going to be necessary, because even if somebody apologizes, is it genuine? Is it real? So,
So I want to know why do you think it's needed sometimes?
Closure. Everybody wants that sense of closure, but sometimes we just we don't get it the way that we want it. So.
And how do you feel if you don't get that closure? Honestly, don't sugarcoat it. Honestly, how do you feel if you don't get the closure? Because I get pissed if I don't get closure. I'm gonna just be honest, and I just have to filter it through my own way.
I get pretty upset, but I just try to move on and learn that maybe it's never gonna happen. So.
Okay. Now, once again, are you comfortable with sharing the situation?
I sure am.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I was assaulted by my dad's girlfriend last year. And you know, I'm 30 now, but I feel like it doesn't matter what age you are, your parents should always be on your side, especially because that lady's a stranger to me. But my dad decided to take her side, and I haven't spoken to him since. That was in April. It's January. So that's just, you know, moving on without my dad acknowledging that he was wrong, and he's always been wrong since I was a kid. So yeah, that.
Okay. And I want to know what brought on this whole assault, yo? Like, because I don't understand. Like, what drives somebody to want to just go after somebody like that? What actually brought this assault on?
So I didn't know my dad's girlfriend like that. We moved in with her because of a situation, and she was a complete stranger to me. Didn't know her from a wet paper bag.
Okay.
And it was just really, really weird living in a house with a stranger. It was like my dad was a stranger too.
Okay.
And my dad he didn't try to make it work. Like, hey, this is like, I didn't know the woman's name for months, like living in, with my father and her. And it was just really, really awkward. It was just very, very uncomfortable. I didn't like her energy. It just seemed like she thought she was better than everybody. Like her ish didn't stink. And it just came to blows on April the 10th, I believe. I was just really, really tired because when I was living with them, their house wasn't like safe for my kids. They had junk everywhere. It was like my dad was a hoarder with his girlfriend. And like, it was just affecting my kids. My kids were 1 and 2 at the time. So I didn't feel like that was a safe place for us. So I complained. I told her, I was like, this is ridiculous. I started complaining to her, and then she heard me, and then she, wanted to start talking ish. I started talking ish. So she started tussling. She choked me out while my 2 kids were in the stroller. It was horrible. I called the police. But my dad and my dad's girlfriend lied to the Denver police and said that I was the aggressor. And I haven't spoken to my dad since, because the fact that he can stay with the woman just because he ain't got no place to stay, it's just, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like the fact that he chose that woman over me, like his flesh and blood.
How does that make you feel?
I'll be honest. I know for a fact my dad never loved me. I know that for a fact, because no father, no mother would do this to their kid. And I'll be honest, I'll probably never forgive my dad, ever.
That's strong. I want to let you know that's strong. When you say you're never going to forgive somebody, you got to remember, forgiveness tends to eat at people. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, if you do everything that you can on your end, okay, then what you're doing is you're able to separate that. All right. And I don't want that to eat at you. So don't say you won't ever forgive him, because that's what we got to work towards. We got to get you to a point where you're able to forgive, because that's not a good place to be in, Holly, for real.
I know that, but I just know that I would go to the ends of the world for my kids, and I would never let, a significant other or somebody else come between me and my children, whether my children are 10, 30, 40, 50, 60. No, I would never let nobody come between me and my kids. I will always protect my kids, even when they're older. So that's just kind of how I see that. And he doesn't do that.
Okay. How were you raised by your father?
My father was there physically, but he wasn't there emotionally, mentally. So he paid the bills, did all that, but he wasn't there for us, like me. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm not gonna speak for my other sisters, but he wasn't there for me, mentally and emotionally. And being a child of African parents, because my parents are from Africa. It's like I don't know what it is about some foreign people's lack of affection towards their children, because a lot of African kids deal with that. So yeah, that's how it was.
Interesting. And you said you can only speak for yourself. So do you feel that he showed love and affection and was there emotionally for your other siblings?
I can't speak for them. Me personally, if I can if I can say for myself, I don't think so. But
okay,
they may feel different, but I don't think. Okay. I don't think so. I don't think he was there for us like that. So.
Okay. Because one thing I can see is one thing we look at people, and that's patterns. You know what I mean? And the thing is, one thing with your dad, if he was like that with you, you know what I mean? And you can kind of see, and you're able to say that he wasn't there for the rest of them too. You know what I mean? You got to remember, it's not just, you're not the only one in that boat. You feel what I'm saying? Do all of your other siblings talk to your dad? They have a good relationship with him?
A little bit.
Real good?
Yeah.
Real good?
Not real good. But
not real good. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, there we go right there. You said not real good. So see, if it's not real good, that means that's something that's happened. That's a wedge that's been put between not just you, but all of your siblings. You feel me? So the thing is, see this forgiveness, I've been saying this all week. It starts with acceptance. Are you able to truly accept your father for who he is so that you can forgive him?
I'll be honest, no, because I mean, what is it? Let he who casts the stone first, however that verse goes.
He who is
I'm
without sin
not
cast the first stone.
there that. So I'm not trying to like bash my father or nothing like that, but I'm just saying like for me personally, me accept him for who he is, no, because he doesn't want to change. He wants to be stuck in his ways. He always thinks that he's correct and he is not open to change. I can't deal with the person who's not open to change.
Okay.
So, life coach, let me interject for a moment, man. This is a good one. This is a good one. Mo has a question real quick. Go ahead, Mo.
Now, I just wanted to know what birth order you're in. You first or last born?
I'm the firstborn.
So you're the oldest.
I am.
All right, let's keep the questions to life coach Jeff. All right.
Okay.
So Jeff, this sounds like an instance of abandonment and rejection. Are those hard for you? Those type of situations hard for you?
Well, it all depends on the willingness to forgive. That's what it all depends on. You know what I mean? Like I told you, when I do this, I have to separate myself from the situation, but I put myself into their world for this moment. You know what I mean? So once it's all said and done, people have to take certain steps in order to help themselves. You know, we go through this 1 hour so that we could give some enlightenment, and what you do after that enlightenment falls directly on that person. So I don't think it's hard, because the thing is, once it's actually said, it's out there. So now you're addressing your feelings. You know what I mean? You're expressing how you feel. But the reality of it is that you have to come to grips with what you said. And you have to make a decision whether or not you want to stand true to the words that you speak. So when Holly said earlier that she didn't think she could ever forgive her father, I said, you got to be careful about what you say with that. Because like I said, forgiveness can eat at you. And the thing is, so now you're getting to a point where every time somebody brings up your father, you don't want to hear nothing about it. You get upset every time you hear his name. You always want to associate negativity with him. And you should never, like we've been saying this week about people having power over you, you should never give a person that much power over you to dictate your own emotions.
Hey, man, the audience is really chiming in. We really appreciate you guys. Brandy, who was here Monday, she said, checking in, saying, hey, I'm so glad you did this. It was needed for some to start the journey of healing. Trey out there, she says, God, you haven't let it go. I'm sorry, in Atlanta, you haven't let it go. And your voice is shaky. You're upset. You have every right to be. You're heartbroken. You want to be at peace to move on this. That's your father. I understand how you feel. It's okay. If you don't speak to him, your choice. But for you, grasp positively, moving forward each day. Your kids will ask you about him one day if they haven't already. Breathe, Holly. You're loved. It's okay to let go and let God. That's life coach. And Madonna quickly, she says, heartbrokenness is real, and you, my sister, say no thank you to brokenness. I'm sorry. Forgiveness is a key for your healing, queen. Rise up and be the love you are. Never let others' reality guide your path, period. All right, Marcella, you want to say something? We got to keep it to the coach, though.
Okay. So, life coach. In healing, when we talk about forgiveness, is it not true that if you don't forgive, you won't be forgiven? Number one. Number two, there are different love languages. And even in relations, is it true that even in relationships, not just love relationships in that manner, that there can be love, because she did mention he was there financially, bills, but that might be that love language. So how should someone deal with that? Because that love language is different from their love language, and that there might be love there. But it's just different in how, you know, and can we all expect someone to love in the same way that we love?
Okay, go back to that first question real quick. I need you just say that first question real quick, because I want to get all of them.
What was the first one?
Oh, you had said it, girl. I thought you
Why
remember
you keep them short, Mark?
because you gave me 3 and 1,
Okay.
and I was having to
Okay.
remember all
Okay.
aspects
About
of the 3.
forgiving. About forgiving.
Uh-huh.
If we don't forgive, we won't be
Okay.
forgiven.
Okay.
There you go.
That's not necessarily true. If you
Okay.
can't forgive, you got to remember a lot of people, there's A and B sides to the story. Maybe there's 1 or 2 sides to the story, maybe even 3. And 9 times out of 10, when somebody holds the side to their story, it's like, okay, that's your perception. That's how you viewed it. But at some point in time, you have to accept the other person for what they saw. You might have to apologize, and you might have to say, I'm sorry, knowing that you did nothing wrong. But because the perception was out there, you know what I mean? You have to help and put a Band-Aid on the perception. And then it's up to that other person to see you the rest of the way. It doesn't matter what you show them sometimes. Sometimes people only see one version or one way of you. So if you forgive on your end, that doesn't mean necessarily that the other person will forgive you. Or if you're not willing to forgive, that doesn't mean that another person will have an awakening moment and they won't forgive you on their end. It's all about the timing. It's all about when a person chooses to see what they want to see, but they have to be open to that too.
Okay, Marcella's the calming effect on the show. So Marcella, when you give your closing remarks, you'll be able to speak with Holly, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. Life Coach Jeff, we're speaking with Life Coach. Well, we're doing the Life Coach Jeff sessions here on DopelivenTV Live today, and Life Coach sessions. Life Coach Jeff is talking to Holly Cisa, and she's revealed a lot of turmoil and pain in her life. Okay, and we're just in the middle of it. So, Life Coach Jeff, I'm kicking back to you.
Okay, you said you won't believe your dad is going to change. So the thing is, even though, are you scared to let go of your father?
No.
Okay, you're not scared to let go of your father.
Nope.
Are you scared of any ramifications, what that could do possibly later on down the line if he comes to you and wants to apologize later on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why I say it's best for you, it's in your best interest to forgive your father. Because as people, what we tend to do is we always remember the negative. Okay. Remember, people will never really remember you for the good that you do in their life. They will. But as soon as you hurt their feelings, as soon as you cross them, as soon as that one thing happens, that's the number one thing that that's going to always be brought to the remembrance. Like for you, you said your father was there financially, but he wasn't there emotionally and everything else. That sticks out like a sore thumb to you. When I think about my mother, what sticks out to us with a Thor son with me is the fact that my mom was not there for me emotionally. My mom could care less about what I would say, how I would say it, or whatever. She thinks I'm a version of my father. These are things that I had to deal with as I got older, and I had to forgive her for and still love her. Now, whether or not she chose to hold on to that, I can't control it. You know what I mean? I can't control whether she holds on to the fact that I'm going to be like my dad when time has shown that I'm not like my father. She has to see that, though. Other people see it. You feel what I'm saying? So you can forgive your father, but you don't have to necessarily sit up here and be looking for him to change, because there's a possibility that he may not change. And to also speak to Marcy's point about the love language, because that kind of ties into this is perfect. To speak on the love language part of it, your father might just be showing love to you by taking care of bills and making sure that you are stable. Him giving you a hug, patting you on the back, telling you he loves you so much, you have to accept the fact that one day you may never get that from your father. I'm not saying that there's a chance that you won't, but you have to accept it within yourself that it might not happen. So if it doesn't happen, you have to ground yourself, and you have to know that your dad still loved you and loves you because he's willing to take care of you. As men tend to be great providers, but a lot of times men in society and different cultural aspects of life, they shun us as far as emotions. If you apply that on a bigger scale pertaining to your father, you take a look back and see how he was raised. You look at his culture. You said you have African parents. We know that African parents can be way more stern. You know what I mean? A bit more straight line when it comes to certain things. So whatever he did, you know what I mean? That was his way of showing you that love. But since you're a woman, you're more emotional. You are looking for that companionship. You know what I mean? From him.
Jeff, Tree says, how can she cope with facing him one day in person? Emotions are different than facing fear in person.
Oh, forgiveness is internal. Forgiveness is internal, and then it shows your emotions external. The thing is, that's the step. That's how you cope. If Holly, if you walk around with malice in your heart pertaining to your father, you won't ever want to speak with him when that time comes. And when you are choosing to speak with him, you need to choose to speak with him without talking to him grudgingly, without holding anger inside. Because if your father was to have an awakening right now, would it be easy for you to receive or hard for you to receive?
It'd be very hard.
It will be hard because you want him to be sincere, right? Yep. And you're not sure if he's truly being sincere with the words that he's saying based off the previous actions that he has shown you. Correct?
Correct.
There it is. So what can you focus on? You can focus on that little bit of good that you know that your father did not want you to go into the hole financially. He cared about you enough to keep you stable and afloat in some type of way. Now, if he would have left you high, dry, and cold and said, hey, baby girl, you got to deal with it with yourself. You grown. Now I can see that resentment really rolling over, because now I can see you not wanting to talk to him at all. Because at a time when you really felt that he could have taken care of you and helped you, and you could have really turned that financial gain and flipped it into something better, you know what I mean? He didn't give you the opportunity to do that.
Nope.
You know?
I agree.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Linda says maybe the father doesn't or wasn't show love to the child.
And yep.
And Zell Cross, I'll let you comment on that. Let me read this one real quick. Forgiveness is for you, not necessarily for the other person. We can't give others too much control over our lives and emotional state by holding on to anger or hurt. Free yourself and love without loving the behavior or actions of others. You wanted to comment on that comment by Linda Curtis, right?
Yes, and that it said maybe the father doesn't or wasn't showed love as a child.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, with that culture, you know that culture is strict.
Oof.
That culture has fallen down onto you. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we have to put those things into perspective too. You know, we have to realize that a lot of people, we react based off our own past experiences, whether we were loved or we weren't, whether we were loved or we weren't. You know what I mean? So I'm saying for this moment, just try. I know it sucks, but you have to try to put yourself in his shoes and bring yourself down to his level. And I saw the eye roll you did. I saw that.
He just moved the eyes. She just moved them left, right, then down. That's what she did.
And Holly, I ain't even gonna hold you on that. And you cool because you cool with feeling that way. For real, you are very cool with feeling that way. But just for your sake, and in the moment, I'm telling you cool for feeling that way, but for your sake of wanting to move on and not allowing that malice to be in you, you have to relinquish some type of your hatred. I don't even want to say hatred, because hatred is a very strong word. You have to relinquish some of that, some of that discomfort. I'll say that. Some of that discomfort that you have towards your father. And you have to say, okay, I know in this moment, I'm not him, but there are some things that he went through that I wasn't around for. You know what I mean? That I wasn't around for, that shaped him to be the man who he is, you know? Because each and every one of us, we live through our own experiences. And when we live through our own experiences, like I said earlier, that dictates who we are as a person. Holly, the reason why you feel the way that you feel, and the reason why you may treat others like that, you possibly could treat others like that who would do you the same way your father did, is because of that one experience that you had.
I agree.
So I would like to think that maybe your dad probably isn't the only person that you have treated like that. Or if a situation came across, you didn't have that same thought process about.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's cool. Maybe it's a healthy assessment. Maybe means you're thinking about it. You remember, you don't have to be 100% right with yourself. The whole point of this is for you to think differently, to look at something from another side so you can see a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Holly, are you okay?
Sure.
Do you need to take a minute?
Yeah, do you need
I already cried. I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Okay. So I want to ask you this, because this runs deep. You know what I mean? I can see how deep it's running with you. So I can only imagine there has to be more instances than just this one. I would like to think that this is a big one for you. You know what I mean? Because this is probably the first thing that has ever caused a major wedge between you and him, because he had to make a choice. You know, you said he chose that woman over you, and you're his blood. You know what I mean? So has other instances, I know other instances have happened, but can you think of another time when another instance came to where it put more separation between the both of you before this one? And how did you cope with it?
Let's see, where do I start with that one? When I was a teenager, I was pregnant and I lost my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like my dad just kept going around the father's family. And it just I don't know, it just seemed like my dad just didn't care about anything that I had going on, just in general. Like I'm gonna be an open book because as you guys know, I have my podcast too. So I'm gonna be very open about a lot of things. I was also raped when I was 18. And
okay.
And it just seems like my dad just never protected me against anything. Never told me about, hey, the dangers of men. No, that never happened. He didn't teach me like, hey, men are like this. To make sure you don't fall in love quick. Don't do this. Why? Because he never showed me love. Yeah, financial's great, but my dad just never protected me. He was always about himself.
Mm. And the tough part about that is, remember I said about acceptance. Jesus. And like I said, the tough part about that is accepting. Man, what your father did was, yes, you said he didn't protect you. There were things that he should have said to you and done. Mm-hmm. But I want to ask you this question. Do you feel that in your hardest of hearts, without him being able to show you that, do you feel that you have learned from each and every experience that you have gone through?
It made me stronger, so yeah.
Okay. So I want you to put this into perspective too. Where do you blame your father? I want to ask you this too. Do you blame your father for any of the instances that you might have gotten yourself into?
Being a minor, yeah, for sure. As an adult, when you're an adult, you kind of have to take like responsibility for yourself, which is why I'm here, you know.
Exactly. Okay.
But I don't know. I just felt like he could have been like my mom. Like my mom is also African, but my mom, when she came here, she knew she was going to have children in America, you know. So she decided to adapt to that, and she loved us and gave us affection. So I shout out to my mom. Like my mom was just way different than other African moms. Like she loved us, you know. But it's just, you know, living with somebody who just went to work, paid bills, did what he wanted. That's not a father. That's a man who gave me life, not a dad. Where was the affection? Where was the him being at certain things when I needed him to be there, or, you know, him defending me against that woman more recently? Just I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's take a quick moment to escalate a little bit. Okay, read some of these comments here. Okay, we're talking with life coach Jeff Releford. He's having a life coach session with Holly Cisa. We do a moment here. Tam Lawrence says, I wish I could hug you, sis. Your pain is a manifestation of your purpose. God calls the strong and those he can use. The way to deal with the pain you feel is to examine how your father grew up. What was his upbringing? He can't be what he never learned in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Tree says, there it is. But when that incident happened with that stranger in the home, Holly has had enough of him not being there for her. She reached her breaking point. I'm so sorry. This is tough to share your story. Thank you, Jeff. Awesome key points. Nene says, maybe Holly's forgiveness is not allowing men like her dad into her life. Like you said earlier, Jeff, he might not change, and it's not up to Holly to take on that burden. She just knows what they've dealt with as a family, and nobody's perfect. But it's parents' job to protect and guide their children. Real quick, Marilyn Wynn says, sometimes you have to accept the apology you'll never get.
Yeah.
We've all experienced those people who truly believe they always and will never apologize. What's going on inside the other person's head, frankly, is none of your business. All you can do is focus on yourself and your emotional integrity. It's important to realize that you're a bigger person for being mindful and accepting the situation as it is. You cannot change people. You can only change the way you think about others. Linda says, again, maybe that's what he showed. You're giving him too much power. Ella says, I'm praying for your healing, Miss Holly.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ella. Thank you, everyone.
It's Gina, you have something you want to say?
Yes, Coach, I had a question for you. And instances like this when you're coaching, and I think we talked about it maybe a couple of days ago in one of the other sessions, when the emotions are involved, how do you deal with your coaching session at that point? Even a more in-depth question is it good that the emotions are coming out?
Yes. It's always good for emotions to come out. This is the part that I look for, because it's kind of like I told I can't remember if I was talking to my wife. I was talking to somebody about this, and either two things are going to happen once we reach this point. Either they're going to want to continue and accept it and deal with it, or they're going to quit the session. These are the number one and two things that can happen. Either you're going to keep talking about it because you know it's something that you have to accept and get over the hump with, or you're just going to be like, hey, this is too much. And 9 times out of 10, if you say it's too much, I don't see those people. They don't come back. Because the problem is that person or that situation has so much power over them. A lot of times they don't want to admit where they faltered at. They don't want to admit that they either gave somebody power over them, or they don't want to admit and say, okay, you know what? With me being right, maybe I did play the victim in some instances. Not saying that's you, Holly. I'm just speaking as an overall with me dealing with people. This is just what people don't want to deal with sometimes. So it is great that people do get the emotions out. And as you can see, sometimes these emotions hit me too. And then I have to regroup and kind of come back. You know what I mean? Because it's my job to separate myself from the situation so that we can make sure, so that I can make sure that the client ends up getting their healing that they need.
And that's interesting you said that, Jeff. Another comment towards Gina's comment. So when you see the emotion like that, of course, you know, it's human nature to say, oh, it's going to be all right. Okay, but as a life coach, that's not, you can't tell anybody that it's going to be all right. Am I correct?
I can, but there's a certain way I have to say it. I have to let them know that, yeah, it'll be okay, but you have to see that it's going to be okay. If I tell you it's okay, that's me convincing you. That's me. I'm telling you like everybody else has told you, because you need somebody in your corner. But no, you have a lot of people, or you have people in your corner already who feel your emotions, who have felt the same emotions that you have. But the question I always have for each and every person that deals with those emotions is that, how do you choose to overcome that now? You've exposed it. You've put it out there. So what can you do to be the better person? You know how somebody has hurt you. You know how somebody has backed you into a corner. You know what I mean? You know how somebody has treated you. But what can you do as number one, the protector of your own feelings, your emotions, your pain, your hurt, anything like that? What are you going to do from this point on to help yourself?
So, Holly, are you okay to go on?
I am.
Okay, great. Jeff, is that question?
Since you do blame him for those for certain instances, like you said, as an adult, no, but as adolescents, yes. And I normally don't like to put my opinion in, but I will tell you this: I do feel as a father, there are certain things that a father can teach you, but there are also certain things that a mother can teach you as well. You know what I mean? And I just want to say this point to it too. I do commend you for sharing this because, as I've been saying this every week, a lot of people cannot get on and just share their emotions. They can't share their feelings. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, like I told everybody else who came on, thank you. And I commend you for that because you are a big person for doing that. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you that same question that I said I have to add, that I ask each and every one of my clients. Based on what you've told me, and I'm going to put a little bit of accountability on you if you don't mind. Based off of what you told me, based off of what you see, and based off of what you can possibly run through. And I'm going to say in the future too, because we don't know what that holds for either of us. What do you think you should do to take the next step for yourself?
Let go and let God at this point. That's all I really can do because, you know, like everybody's been saying, and you know, y'all know, I'm a thinker. I think for myself, but if you don't want someone in your life that's toxic, whether it's your family or a friend, I just feel like they don't need to be there. So I just need to learn to forgive my father without an apology. And one day, just, you know, one day, ... I mean, I don't know where to go from there. Just forgive him without an apology. And then one day, ...
Because I want to say this to you. A lot of us throw on let go and let God. And listen, for my people out here, I'm about to break this down too. And if y'all understand who God is, y'all know who he is, y'all should get this point I'm about to make. A lot of us say we need to let go and let God, but the Bible also says faith without works is also dead.
I say that too.
Yep. So, you know, with that, always remember, and I only say, I'm only bringing out that point because a lot of people, we hear that side of it. You know what I mean? We hear that side of it, of letting go and letting God. We know, we quote the scripture every day, but we forget about the faith without works is dead. We forget about that portion because a lot of times what we do is we can be in tune with our emotions, but we like to stay in our emotions. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So sometimes our emotions tend to cloud our logical judgment that we have and the accountability that we really need to put on ourselves so that we can get ourselves through. God will only take you as far as where you allow him to go.
Amen.
God will only take you as far as you want to go in your own mind. You feel me? Because it says God has no respect of person either. So God ain't going to treat you no different than he would do anybody else. One thing that he gives us all is a choice. So the thing is, while you're letting go and letting God, also know that and remember that you have the choice to have forgiveness in your heart. You have a choice to want to rectify, not on his end. Remember, he's already made his decision. Excuse me. He's already made his decision, or we don't know the decision that he made. We can base the decision based off of what you said to us and based off your own experience. You feel me? But you have to rectify your end of the deal. So if that means picking up the phone, calling your father and telling him, Dad, I forgive you. And he don't even have to know where it comes from. He doesn't even have to ask you, why are you doing this? All you need to do is say, Dad, shut up and listen. I have something I want to say to you. I have something I want to say to you for me. Not for you, for me. So if you pick up the phone and you call him and you tell him, I forgive you. You don't have to beg for anybody's forgiveness. Just tell him you forgive him sincerely and wholeheartedly. Don't wait on a reaction. Don't wait on a response. Whatever he says at that point in time and in that moment, you have to be okay and at peace with that.
So, Holly, how you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay. This was needed. So,
has this session done a little bit for you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Has this session done a little bit for you?
Yeah, it did a lot.
Okay, good.
Brought out a lot of things that I keep cornered. So
okay, LaDonna Booker says, congratulations on releasing, Queen. This is a big step towards your healing. I'm excited for your great steps.
Thank you.
Brittany Curtis says, that is where faith comes in. Without faith, it's no works. It works hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy says, but I feel like that could backfire. And you may think you're at peace until you get the other person's response. That's a good point there. What do you say to that, Life Coach?
And that is a great point. But that's why I also say too, you have to know within yourself. And I'm telling you, and I know it may sound a little cliche. People always say, love yourself, know who you are. But when we start talking about forgiveness, when we start talking about malice in your heart, when we start talking about those things, it takes a different level to forgive somebody who truly wronged you. I ain't talking about nobody who was just talking about you or doing some mess, but I'm talking about who truly wronged you. You have to take your mind and your heart to a completely different place in order to make that happen internally. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, even though Brandy, he might give a reaction that she doesn't want, it's still up to Holly to be okay and play that. It's okay for her to play that situation in her mind and say, you know what? Okay, I know my dad. I know he can say this. But what I have to do is you have to know where it comes from, even if it's just an assumption. Okay? Even if it's just an assumption. I'm not saying let the assumption run wild, but at least, like I said, take into consideration the fact that there are things that he's been through, the experiences that he's had. You know what I mean? That is your father, so you know a little bit about him through his personality, through his ways. You know what I mean? So you can come to some type of conclusion that maybe something might have happened to him, and that's why the way he is. Once she comes to grips with those different thoughts, Brandy, that's how she'll be able to deal with that direct response that her father will give her.
That's what's up. Real quick, Mo, you had a question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. So as far as the relationship with the grandbabies, how is there a shield that she would need, or is that something that it has to be developed as time go on? You know, shielding her kids from possibly a toxic relationship with the children,
having them be exposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. Well, that's up to Holly. You know what I mean? That's up to Holly, how she depends on how to navigate that whole situation, how she wants them to be, what type of situations does she want her children to be exposed to her father.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because nobody really wants to actually keep their grandkids, keep their babies away from their grandfather or grandmother. Nobody wants to do that. So if there's got to be a way where possibly she can find a medium, you know what I mean? So that way it doesn't affect the kids, or it doesn't affect her emotions also with certain things that, let's say he might treat the grandkids a certain way, and boom, that's a trigger right there. Hung might be like, oh, nah, here we go again. You know what I mean? So it's certain boundaries and certain lanes that she can go through also to kind of navigate through those waters, you know?
Real good. Okay, this was DopelivenTV Live. Life Coach Sessions with the Life Coach Jeff Releford. Holly, we appreciate you sharing your journey with us. Okay, this was truly a tearjerker here. Nene says, real quickly, I completely agree, Jeff. It takes self. It took my dad passing last year in October to forgive my father. So I don't want her to forgive him before she has to face that. So thank you. And basically, that's a great way to close out these sessions. Thank you, Coach Jeff, for taking the time to give a piece of yourself to help others to find out about themselves. Most definitely, it's been 4 days of healing, 4 days of restoration. Exposing and making sure that you bring back something that's good. So, hey, man, it's been great. Holly, you want to tell everybody? I know it's not the place, but you want to tell everybody what you're getting ready to do in February?
So on February 4th, Morning Mimosas will be premiering.
There it is. Snap it out.
Yes.
Bad for.
And I am overjoyed for that. I am ready to put my grief into something positive. So I'm about to do that.
Most definitely. We definitely going to support that. Nene, Brandy says real quick, Nene, I feel you on this. It took my dad dying in 2020 to finally forgive. It was hard, rough, and worth it. Marilyn Wynn says, God bless all of you. Holly, you're not alone. Good night. So that's great. We're going to support Holly, you know, as she goes farther into her journey. This is the part of her journey that's the happy part. Now she's progressing with the happiness. So yes, hey, Lyco Jeff, you had us all today, bro. It ain't fair.
Hey.
You had it. You had us, bro. I had to get off for a second, man. I'm like, wow, you know, but you know, she did too. But it's a good thing.
Yeah, so did I.
I hope everyone understood that, you know, people, we go through things, but you know, maybe we can talk it out to somebody so that we can come back to ourselves. All right, like Coach Jeff, we're gonna get out of here. Okay, give us a final word from you.
I just really hope throughout this whole week, what I've been able to do is hopefully shed some light on what life coaching truly is, how life coaching is truly a great thing, and how us as a people, we don't have to be so reluctant when it comes to just getting somebody for help. You know, we don't have to shun people out. We don't have to say, oh, okay, they're gonna come and think that we this, that way, or the third. No, there are actually people who want to help you, such as myself. There are people who want to help you unload and unpack, but also look towards a better future. So just take advantage of the stuff that we do and what we offer, because you don't always have to keep it all inside. It's okay to not be okay and to release it.
Amen.
I appreciate it. Marcella, you want to say something?
Okay. Yes. Holly, first of all, I'm sorry that you've gone through all that you've gone through. And I just want to leave with you, pray and ask God to help you and teach you how to forgive your father. And that really is where it truly comes from, because a lot of times forgiveness, we can't do it on our own. And when some things happen, it's just so hard. And I know your beginning statement was, you know, you can never, you know, forgive him, but it is possible. Be careful also what you say around your children regarding your dad. That's something that I tell people going through divorce and single parents, how they talk negative about the other one. Please don't do that. Forgive yourself for anything that has happened and the way you feel. It's okay to feel the way that you have been feeling, but know this, you're just going through the storm. You're going to make it to the other side. My prayer is that you're able to forgive him, that your father see ways that are how he's harmed you, and that eventually you guys have a lovable relationship. And remember, it takes grace, and we all have to have grace for other people. Doesn't mean you have to be with the person, but we have to learn to love regardless, as our Father loves us.
You got her over there
Our
crying.
Heavenly Father.
You got her over there crying, Marcellus. I didn't put her up here, but she over there crying. Okay, Mo B, what's up?
Man, well, you're loved on this show, sis. I mean, we would not be sitting here talking to you and giving you all this. This is the first day of the beginning. I mean, I know you've been going through some stuff, you know, with your father, but trust me, when you forgive and everything begins to, you know, click together, you're gonna be glad that you had somebody to show you a little light or a little way of how to do it. And I'm glad, you know, Jeff was able to help.
Thank you, Uncle Mo.
There you go, Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo.
Ella started that. I'm gonna get how you
You know what I want to say is, say kind things to people. Smile. Say hello to strangers. You never know what someone is going through. We never knew that Holly was going through this. You know, we just saw her as a strong queen, which she is, but we didn't know deep down inside there was hurt there. You never know what a kind word can do for a person, or a hello, or any kind gesture. It may be that one thing that puts a smile on their face. And so don't take for granted that people that smile are happy. We don't know what's going on inside. So definitely. The other thing I want to add is, we as parents kids don't come with a catalog. There are no rules to tell you how to raise a kid. And we do what we think is best. And it's not always best. I'm sure my kids probably got stories they could tell people too. But we do what we feel is the best parenting ways. And I look back on some things and I said, man, I shouldn't have did that, to my kids growing up. But we just do what we think is best. So, I'm saying that to say that even though parents may do things that you feel are not good to you or for you, not, fit, you guys get what I'm saying. Just know
Yes.
that we're doing our best for what we know. I think somebody in the audience said it. All he knows is what he knows.
Hey, look. First of all, Holly, I got to tell one joke. He's sitting over there. We're not over there. Ladies, when y'all do this, what does that do when y'all cry?
Dry the tears without messing up your makeup.
Because she pulling over there, and all I see her doing is
it dries the tears.
I thought it was reversed. I didn't know. But anyway, look, we're human. We're all human. We have emotions. We have our needs, our wants. We get angry. We get happy. We're imperfect. So the things that happened to us in the past do not have to define who we are as we go through our journey. So it's up to each of us to decide whether or not we want to forgive, because it's in all of us. But is forgiveness all the time going to be the right thing to heal us? Is talking to our life coach the right thing to heal? We don't know. But the thing is, we try to do here at Dope Living TV Live is to make sure that we make an impact. We want to make sure that we are in tune to what you guys need. And these panel of people are of various different professions. We try to impart what we know so that we can help, we can entertain, we can inspire you. And, today, this week, was the opportunity for us to really, really, really know, because a lot of people don't know. Because I could tell the story about the life coaches that have been on this show. But I won't, all right? We have our own life coach, and you've done a fantastic job this week. And,
thank you, sir. Thank you.
I pray that, she said, go to bed, Greg. I pray that everything goes well. Holly, we're excited for what's going to happen. We're excited for what's going to happen. Marcella, shut up so she can have one more thing to say. Marcella, what the hell do you want to say now?
Holly, my last thing. Know that we're here on Dope Living. We love you. You have family here. We're here for you. You are very much loved. Okay? Know that.
We were going to say that, Marcy.
Well, I'm not a mind reader, honey bunny.
But she had it in her head. Sometimes you got that. See, we're imperfect. You got something in your head and you ain't hear nothing else. Everything is like.
And what I love about stuff like this is the fact that I want y'all to take a good look. I want the viewers to take a good look at this. We are 6 African Americans on here. 6 African Americans on here who are not afraid to go down the path and journey of healing. I just pray that this resonates with more of us. You know what I mean? Yes. So that we're willing to take these steps and we use each other to help us get to that place to where we know we need help in healing each other. Definitely.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate everybody, all the comments. The audience was fantastic this week.
Oh, they've been a huge support.
You guys were Life Coach Juniors. You guys were doing your thing, okay? And we appreciate you always, not just for supporting us on this, but supporting us throughout this whole journey that we've been taking, all right? Brandy says we need to do this again, seriously. Brandy, we are going to do this again.
Oh, yeah, we will.
We definitely got this on tap. We've already talked about it, so definitely. So, but next time you got to pay. But so we...
I told them whoever missed out, you missed out on these free sessions.
Oh man,
shame on you.
We got the life coach. He's under the Dope Living umbrella. So we're here for you guys. Yeah, that's basically. So I hope Holly, that you had a experience here.
I sure did.
Yeah, I know you did.
It was an awakening for sure. So
all right.
I know you did.
Stop.
Y'all funny.
Hey, you guys have a fantastic weekend. We will see you again Monday. Who knows what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Did you want to say something, Mo?
No. got it.
Oh, I thought you had something you wanted to say.
Peacing out and everything.
Let's go.
And you know, sending a bunch of love over there to Holly.
No step.
Give you a good squeeze and a hug if I could.
Holly, hang out for a minute, okay? Don't go anywhere. Right?
I am.
All right, this is Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys next week. All right, peace out.
Peace out.